Welcome to the first episode of Joe's house. Today's house is the actual house I live in. I wanted to give a forward to this interview before we get everything started. I'll let you know kind of the format of these little mini podcast interviews. We'll see what happens with these, right? So they're always going to premiere on my Twitch channel first, twitch.tv/Joe Lewis. That's twitch.tv/J0 ELEWIS. Once again, that's twitch.tv/J0 ELEWIS. And that's where you'll hear this fresh off the press. Well, kind of fresh off the press. And then that following Friday, you'll always have the video version of that. So you can either hear it early on Wednesday night, Thursday night afternoon, or you can hear it on Friday. It'll be up indefinitely until I decide to take it down. But that being said, this first one was recorded at Next Level Battle Circuit number 160. That's at Next Level Arcade / card store / game store. It's kind of everything all wrapped together in one. It's officially called The Next Level. It's in Brooklyn, New York. And this was with Jager, who is a rig player, DOA player, all types of stuff. So just getting sort of other semantics out of the way, there is some slightly not safe for work language. So if you tend to play videos at full blast in your house like a madman, I would suggest probably getting some headphones just to play it safe. Also, none of these are going to be scripted. So this is the first interview I've done with any type of player since my Yu-Gi-Oh days back in 2006. So, and even back then, I didn't run scripts. I kind of just went with the way the conversation went. So also keep in mind, we are in a busy arcade or busy game store, we should say. So it's pretty loud. I think the microphones did a very good job at capturing the audio. However, the actual ambient noise around us was very loud. So there's like even an exchange earlier where we may have kind of cycled through the same question a little bit too long, but I think it's probably because we literally had a hard time hearing each other. So in the future, I'm probably gonna get some headphones. That might be very helpful in making sure that people can actually hear what's going on. And again, this is the first one, so we're kind of on my end just working out the kinks. So I really hope you enjoy listening to this. It's currently about 12 o'clock on Thursday, and I'm getting ready for a DJ event that I'm working tonight. So I figured I'd just give you this little forward before we actually get to this. Now, the next one that I'm thinking about doing is a roundhouse discussion. So I think something that would be really kind of cool is to get some top players and top thinking heads of other games and just put them all on the table, give them a microphone, and just see where the conversation goes. Let me know if that's something that would be interesting, and I can put some feelers out. Or even if there's some players that you would recommend, that'd be really helpful. Again, I'm brand new to this whole interviewing fighting game players. So if there's somebody that you think that has something to say and needs a platform to say that, it's probably a good place to do it. We're pretty laid back here. So it is what it is, you know. Once again, thank you for listening to this. And I don't know how I'm going to cut this, but it's probably just going to be a hard cut. Keep in mind, for now and forever, none of these are going to be edited. There's going to be some light editing, like with me cutting the video or cutting the audio from what you're hearing now to the actual interview itself. But for the most part, I'm not going to edit them because I just want to be able to just get what's on the players' minds. Now, if somebody goes off the rails and then they feel a little bit guilty about that, then we might like run into an issue there, right? But so far we're 1 for 1 of no problems. So let's try again. Don't know what the topic is going to be for next week, but I guess check my Twitter for that. All the information in terms of like where you can find me, where you can find the players, will be either in the description of the video if you're listening to this in video form, or within the Twitch channel itself. So I'll have to have WiseBot do some wizardry to make sure that you guys can have access to the players in terms of like, oh, I really like this player. Let me ask him questions about maybe what was talked about in this discussion or even something in the future. Like, my point is, I'm just bullshitting here. My point is, all the information will be there. That's all I gotta say about that. Once again, thank you for listening. And here is Jager. All right, so I guess what you could do for me, just for my sake, because I'm going to be organizing these later tonight, just say your name, the date, where we are.
Just let me know when you want to go.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So name is, gamertag is Jager. Jagermeister on PSN. Call me Dan. I'm playing DOA since 3. Yeah, since 3. So rig main here. Trying to learn other characters, but I like to play a million miles an hour, rush down, Oki, setup, all that good stuff. So
cool. That was great. Thank you, man.
Yep.
So I'm brand new to this game.
Okay.
I started literally like March 2nd. Like
Gotcha.
I got it like 2 a.m.
Right.
Pick it up. Love the game ever since. And apparently, when it comes to people playing this game on stick, we are a dime and a dozen.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And when I was like asking around, because at the first I was really struggling with like movement and navigating in a 3D landscape. And then one of my friends who plays this game, well, he played, I think like 5, I want to say. He was like, bro, just watch Jager.
Oh, really?
I'm like, who's that? And he's bro. So he sends me all these videos, I guess, from like previous tournaments. And then one, I guess, from, I guess it was like, there was some video, some dude was like, crazy rig. Okay. And then like, I saw, and then like even just watching you just from like other tournaments, like your movement on a 3D landscape
that's
on
like
stick.
That's like the
nuts.
one thing I'm like super happy and like actually satisfied with in this game. I feel like my movement, I think I have some of the best movement in the game. Other shoutouts to XCal, a few other players, but on stick, I'm way more comfortable. It's really hard to do on pad. I can't do it personally, but I feel like if you can kind of master, because the walk speed in this game is very slow compared to 5. Right. So if you can Korean backdash, I'm moving at like 4x speed almost, 3x, of getting around spacing, playing neutral with punishing. So I feel like you can get that down. It's a very important. Like neutral is super important in this game. Yeah.
So what are some things that you approached when navigating through movement? Because I can just tell by your play style, like even like when Recruiter was playing against you in the grand finals, I could tell he was like, there were some times where he wanted to approach you, and you were just like, nah, we're out.
Like, dude,
we're out. Like,
it's kind of funny because he break held me, so we're reset at neutral, and I'm left back turn. There was one instance where he literally sprinted. He did 6-6 at me, like full sprint at me. I matched his speed with my Korean backdash, and then he ran in. He finally closed space. And he did the Bayman's catch grab, which is a low. Yeah. And I was actually Korean backdashing. I was crouching in the crouch state.
Oh, my God.
I was able to fuzzy and low punish it. So that's just one example of the many applications with movement.
Yeah. So let's go back, I guess. We'll say just throwing a ballpark number, 7 years, 8 years. Movement's important to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Where did you start with not only perfecting the movement, but making it so that it's something that's just naturally into your gameplay?
I don't think I did it in DOA 3. I did it in DOA 4, I know for a fact. So that's where it originated. But even other games, I feel like your neutral and movement is very important, and no matter what game you're playing. So, even Tekken, I played a little bit Tekken, KBD there. Just neutral movement is like the core of any game, I feel. Because especially in this game, it's so important, because once you get counter hit, you're stunned, and you're in a super disadvantageous situation. Yeah. So for a new player coming in, and there's thousands of videos on everyone, like, how do you KBD? And like there's thousands of videos. But I guess my question is, if you're someone who's brand new to this game, what are some basic fundamentals in terms of movement that are universal, not only from DOA 6, but maybe from, for example, like Tekken, Soul Calibur, and stuff like that? Yep. Like, where does somebody start with movement, in your opinion? I think movement, essential part, especially in this game, once you're able to move before round starts. So just playing neutral, knowing your characters, poke range, Just fundamentals goes a very long way no matter any fighting game you're playing. But I think a very good starting point is knowing your whiff punishment. Even just, I would say, master movement as the fundamental before you do anything. Because in a game where that stuns, I'm kind of beating on a record, broken record, so to speak. But movement in a stunned game, practice your execution. I like to pride myself. I have somewhat above average execution. I play like just frame characters. I think that transpires to my movement in this game. So I feel like practice, cannot say it enough. And I honestly didn't know this, like, people were that interested. Like, even the fact that you came to me, I'm kind of like, sorry. I'm like, wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll actually make a video and show people.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
I could definitely do something like that.
That'd be really cool.
Yep.
You won the first tournament for this game.
Yeah.
Back, what's it, like maybe now a month or so, give or take, at Winter Brawl 3D.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, it's been maybe a little over a month, a solid month. What are some things in DOA 6 that you enjoy, but also what are some things, how did you deal with the transition from going from DOA 5 to DOA 6?
So, going from the perspective of my character, Rig is all about rush down, mix up, Okizeme pressure. Basically, when I knock them down, it's still my turn. I could pressure with my strong force tech game. That was super prevalent in 5, but we transitioned fast forward to 6. I can't do any of that. So I get a knockdown, finish a BMB. I can't do anything. Like, if you see me just KB dash out of there, I don't want to deal with the wake-up game. I'm out. I don't want to deal with it. So I really enjoy the break hold system. I feel like DOA is an excellent game to utilize the meter system in regard to break blows, break blow cancels, break holds, all that good stuff. I feel like it has a competitive tournament application as well as helping newcomers get into the game to get out of certain situations with the break hold. So I love that about the game. What I would adjust, I would bring back Okizeme, force techs. I don't think it's very appropriate for grappler characters to be the only one to apply pressure once they knock somebody down. I think that's a little crazy. I'm looking at Rakudo. That's why you see me teching. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm out. So other than that, 3D game, the sidestep, there's been a lot of controversy about this game. I'm kind of 50-50. I think it's 3D game, but at the same time, it's borderline a DP. You can bait it out, but I have my S attack, so if I run in SU on counter hit when you're doing it, you get a full combo. So it's a give and take. Risk reward.
And even like for the character I'm working on with Hanaka, when she has her front throw, it puts you in a state of +10, right? So the instinct for some people is just to not deal with the nonsense after +10 pressure like that, the side step.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, for a character like her, she can just throw you back in the same situation, and it's just guess.
Yep, this is that vortex.
And some characters don't necessarily have that same type of tool. They can still, for instance, like even using Atomi as an example, right? She has something very similar where she can put you in the same kind of like hit throw mix up. Hers might be arguably a little more frustrating because it's faster. But it seems to me, and this is me coming from a Street Fighter background, that right now if I'm a newcomer coming into this game fresh off the boat who doesn't have context of other fighters and sort of like fight on like archetype hierarchy, it seems at face value throws and grappler characters in general have a very high value in this game. How does somebody, I don't want to say deal with the monotony of that, but it, like take Bayman for example, right?
Oh God.
It seems like if I'm looking for a character who's very tournament viable, where like I don't have to do much in a tournament environment. Like if I'm a Marie Rose going to a tournament, you're working.
You're
working
your ass
the
off.
minute you walk in there.
Before you sit down in the chair.
But then you look at a character, for instance, like from last weekend, I think it was that final round, with a character like Tina. It's like you look at it and go, what is this character? What are we doing here? So how important is there a concern at the grappler level? Should that be something or is that something that in most games that tends to get fizzled out? Because for instance, like using Street Fighter 4 as an example, it seemed to be a trend where like it was constantly, where's Zangief in terms of balance? He's either really strong,
especially green hand,
or military. And even when the first start of Street Fighter 5, when Snake Eyes went on that tear, and then it's like, wow, grapplers are broken, and then it kind of mellowed out. Do you see Dead or Alive 6 running into that same sort of grappler problem? Or is this something that players just need more time with the game and with the system?
I think it's how you approach it, to be honest, because I feel like some of the grappler characters, low execution, simple but super effective, as we can see. Tina is a very polarized example because she can one hit, throw you into the car, danger zone, throw you again, you're dead, that's a real health bar, and you're just like, what just happened to my life bar?
Yeah.
So, especially in a situation where she can do sit-down stuns, OS the grab, low grab, all that stuff. So it comes back to the point of there's no Ikazemi force tech anymore. So I feel like that's what balanced out the grapplers and kind of made them even in a system with holds, triangle system, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have faith. I have faith that Team Ninja will come to the realization, bring back our Okazeme force tech to help balance out this simple but effective grappler style. Okay. So I think that is something that can be done to help equate the scale, so to speak.
Yeah.
I have faith at this point. Let's just hope it comes through at this point.
Yeah. Because, and again, like, I'm coming at this game and approaching this game, even though I have experience in Street Fighter, like, that's kind of like where my strength came from. So, like, right now I'm doing pretty, like, so-so. Like, I'm still adjusting to the system and doing stuff like that. But when I run into the bases, Tinas, Baymans, and then, like, I don't see, it's like, even though at the level I'm at right now, because I'm still learning and people are still, like, at, like, my level, which is, I would say, solidly lower mid, I can still see some things like what that person did to me might be problematic at a higher level.
Yeah.
I mean, Tina's obviously a polarizing example, right? Because, like, there were situations where you would see, like, oh, you're winning, you're doing good, and then, like you were saying, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I think with a character like Bayman, it might be a little bit different. I'm not too sure, but it seems like Bayman is a very solid character to have in the back of your pocket to walk into a tournament environment. Do you think there's other characters like that? That they're not necessarily low output, but you might not have to do as much in order to get sort of the same results as using Marie Rose as an example again. Like, I feel like she's just a character that, like, you have to put 80% versus maybe a rig who may go to a tournament and do like 40% output and still get the same equal results. But do you think are there characters like that that have sort of a very high, or some medium output to get, like, decent results? Or do you think the character design is pretty solid in that regard?
So I come from a Virtua Fighter background of my main game. In that game, let's just start there, the jab speeds were only 2 variations. In this game, a character can have a 9 frame, and then a character can have a 10 frame, 11, 12, 13, all the way up to Neo Tengu, who has a 15 frame jab.
Yeah.
So, especially in a game where you can stun people, first hit, gets counter hit, I think that's very important. That said, I feel like you kind of need to be a multi-character specialist, so to speak, a jack of all trades, if you will. You can even see Rakudo as a prime example. He is a Bayman loyalist for years, as far as I can remember, going all the way back. And I can see him adjusting to the meta because he's picking up Hitomi, a faster, more viable, very good character. And I feel like you always need that, almost a counter pick.
Okay.
So I'm going to say yes to that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very good to have a pocket of characters between, helps you learn matchups against other people, so on and so forth. So.
Right. Do you think that if you're somebody who's looking, because using Excalibur Blades as an example, he's the kind of person that at a high level, you almost want to blind pick him.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what he's
agree.
coming in. Because you could just sit down and go, all right, here we go, rig. And it's like, Tina, oh, all right, I guess.
Which is very good. Yep.
And then on top of that, when you're trying to get knowledge, like, okay, let me see, like, he streams a lot, so let's see what's going on. And then there could be characters that are just in there, he just choosing not to. And then you're in a tournament setting, it could just be, I don't know, a Neo Tengu. And you're like, I've never seen him play this character ever. And he plays it at a high level. So is there something within this system that allows for someone like Excalibur Blades to pick up multiple characters like that at that level? Or do you think that's something exclusive to him as a player?
So,
do you know what I mean? What I'm trying to get at?
I know what you're trying to say. So Excal is kind of a polarized example. I would say that because he's a very good player, very good understanding of the game, playing the game for years, and he's got the time as a student to kind of, get lab everything. But I would have to say the prime, factor driving behind that force would be he has a very strong understanding of the mechanics and the system. He can adapt to the meta on the fly. So since he has such a strong understanding of the system, how the game is played, triangle system, everything like that, he can play any character. He could literally not play character for 2 years, understand the system so strongly, what save, fuzzy guard, my punish, my optimal, and he can work around that even though he doesn't play the character.
Damn.
You know, just because how strong the throw system, hold system versus attack system is.
Okay.
Yeah. So he can kind of get away with, I'm not going to say get away with, he's a very good player, I'm not going to short him, but yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because something that I found when I was approaching this game, like, because I'll be honest with you. When I picked Tanaka, I was like, this character seems really cool. She has a bunch of different stances.
Yep.
And then I went through this move list. Like, there's still, even right before this tournament, I didn't know that her 5K, like her 5K into 5K, creates a bounce state.
Yep.
So you can dash up and keep going.
You go cross
and somebody did that to me, like, online before I came here. I'm like, wait a minute.
This is like Pikachu meme. You're like,
yeah, where it's like, what? And then like, okay, it's another thing. And like, what I do when I'm practicing this game, I have like anything I see that I'm not too sure about, I write down like, okay, like this upset me. Check this match. Check that match. Check that match. And what I find the most interesting is that with the hold system, it creates a sort of mini metagame, even on offense and defense. So do you, as it stands right now, is there any part of the triangle that needs it, using obviously like Okizeme as a side, like exception on top of that, I guess we were saying, but is there anything within the triangle system that you think that should be reinforced to keep balance? Or is there anything within the triangle that might be leaning to, not necessarily too strong, but something that might be very powerful?
So in regard to the triangle, which part I think is kind of doing too much right now, is I would say holds, as we kind of saw it in my set in the grand finals there. I did a wake-up kick and took 50% health. And he came back. He basically held me twice and won a round when he was at a pixel health. So I think that might need to be adjusted, but at the same time, they have their whole niche character. That's their, that's their specialty. They hold, advanced holds, all that stuff. But I think it's weighing too strong right now. That could be my opinion. I could be wrong. That's just my input. Another thing is I think the sidestep attack needs to be adjusted so throws can catch them better, because if I do a slow throw and that its active frames or its invuln frames where it can't be thrown is already there, I get blown back.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that needs to be adjusted. I feel like damage, BMB damage, as much damage as everything's doing is pretty good, but maybe holds and maybe throws a little bit, maybe like 10% toned down, 15 in that margin, but other than that, I'm kind of okay with the game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So World Tour, or World Championship as they're calling it, DOAWC, is pretty much almost in full swing. I think the first event is this coming weekend, or may have just passed.
I don't think AA is an event, but I think the one in France is. It's like Lyon's France. I don't know when that is. It might be this month. I could be wrong.
Yeah. And one thing that I saw when I was like just browsing through the internet in terms of like, oh, this is a pretty big event. Like, they're throwing money on the table. Let's see what's going on. Something that I saw a lot of players be very upset about is banned stages. But then it came into a conversation overarching about interactables and stage hazards. And something that I noticed using, I think it's Forbidden Paradise as an example, where you get hit on that stage and you're just like, what?
Yeah, that's a throwback to DOA4.
Yeah, compared to other stages. Do you think that interactables or stage hazards are a good thing in terms of character, like in terms of character balance? Like, do you feel like are there characters that might favor interactables from other characters, or do you think that that's a pretty neutral playing field that anybody could use?
So coming from DOA5, you could see, home, or we could take an example in this game, the pirate ship in the basement.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing Rig, I play the character, I'll completely admit. I throw you into the ceiling, I'm already doing like 50% on normal damage, basically. And then I could reset you and throw you into the ceiling multiple times for basically your whole health bar. Another example would be Ryu Hayabusa. So these two characters favor that ceiling so much. I'm going to completely go out there. It's super disadvantageous to other characters because they can't take advantage of that mechanic.
Right.
While this character can just abuse it. And it's just such a point where you keep hitting buttons so you don't get thrown into the ceiling and have that snowball horrible situation begin in
yeah.
the first place. So
Yeah, and the funny thing is too is that something that I was thinking in terms of balance, not necessarily balance, but something that Melee has done and other sort of Smash-related games is have this sort of stage ban system within the players. Do you think that's something that, I don't know if it's something Team Ninja should explore or something a tournament organizer should explore? Because even like you said, using Rig as an example, like for your sake, if you get a hit, you're in.
Yeah.
And then if you're playing a character that can't utilize the ceiling like that, you're just sitting there like, okay, it seems
I just
a little,
gotta take this.
a little bound. Do you think that's something, as it stands right now, something that tournament organizers should consider, that maybe there's like something within the Sage metagame we should be looking into? Or do you think just let it rock, let's just, not to be binary,
Yeah,
but,
no, I hear
or
you.
like what are your thoughts on that?
So I actually brought this up when I was commentating at NEC I want to say NEC. Me and Matt Ponta were commentating. I brought it up. I was like, "What do you think of like a counter pick, stage pick, ban situation? Kind of like Smash. I know they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics, but I know they do.
Yeah.
So, in a game with such powerful interactables, where some characters can benefit to a tremendous degree, I think it's something that would be good for the game. Create an extra level of depth. Yomi, mind games, even blind pick. We can try that out. I think it's something that should be tested, run at a tournament, collect the data, see how that rocks. I think some characters just benefit too much on certain stages.
Yeah, that's what's up. So I don't want to keep you anymore with 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. But I guess so. These tournaments at next level have been, for lack of a better term, eye-opening.
Yeah.
From just a passive observer. What's going on with that? You feel?
So I'm going to give shout-outs to Team Spooky, always holding it down since the OG days of supporting multiple communities, non-biased, always giving games a chance. What do the people want to see? Variety, I feel like he's a resource to help showcase our game, and for the very much better, because we're getting excellent numbers, exposure, even the faces. It's like I played him yesterday online. That's him. So I feel like it's very good for the game. It gives people a good stepping stone and resource to see how the game is played at a high level.
Right.
So I think it's an excellent application.
Yeah. And hopefully, I think it was what, $700
Yeah, 768. I think it's. So this is almost like the fourth week we've almost hit like $1,000.
Yeah,
so
that's what we'll see what's going on. And I guess on my end, I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that I keep coming to this.
Yeah.
I come here for Street Fighter, and then I just found this sort of second love for a game that I didn't even. I don't think I told you this so far, that my friend plays the game. He's like, "Go, you gotta get it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, I guess." So I DJ, so I was DJing a wedding at the time. So I bought what I thought was the game, but it turned out to just be the season pass.
Yeah.
So then when I
that's
got
a whole
yeah,
another.
yeah. So when I got home, I'm like, "Where's the game?"
I got
and
the
then
costumes. I got the characters.
And my friend's like, "No, you didn't." And I'm like, "Didn't what?"
Done
and then of
fucked
course,
up.
I done fucked up. And then the funny thing is too is at the time in the PlayStation store, the deluxe version was the only version available. So then I kind of got bent on both sides of the ball. Personally, it seems like at face value, the DLC pass is worth it. Sounds crazy for me to say, but why does it seem to be always something that people get so sort of excited about? Not excited in a positive way, but it's kind of like
on both sides.
Yeah, why is this so high? Because it seems to be that it's just a DOA thing, but for some reason with this version of the game and this specific pass, things kind of just skyrocketed a little bit in terms of just what the fuck is them?
Yeah.
Is there anything to that, you think? Because you've been playing this game for a while.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen a number of just
hundreds upon hundreds of
Team
DLC.
Ninjas doing company
I see
stuff.
I see how they do it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they're a business. There might be a fighting game developer, publisher, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's a business, bottom dollar. If people, as they saw in Dead or Alive 5, throughout the multiple iterations, people bought DLC, which helped fund it, create more content, new characters, now it's Lee, developing, processing, putting these new characters into the game, which I like. And if that's going to give them more opportunity, create more interesting content, provide an extensive lifespan for the game I love, enjoy to play, I'm all for it. But it gets to the point where it's like, all right, $93 for season pass for just that's a little much in my opinion. Could be wrong, but if it's going to help put more content on the table, more food on the table, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to buy the content.
Yeah.
You know, it's all cosmetic aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's not affecting gameplay. So that's why I'm okay with it. I support it.
And then it's funny, too, because it almost is like, it's kind of the same thing like when there's like a sale of something and you see like an X amount of price. For instance, like it could be anything. And we'll use Season Pass as an example, right? It's like $93. What? Like this is crazy. But at the same time, like if you were a player that's like wants to get every sort of new cosmetic all along the way, there's probably some value in the Season Pass there for those type of people. And it might not even be something that's, how you would say, I don't want to say worth it, but like it's not, like you said, like it's not affecting
it's
the
not
core
affecting
of the game.
core gameplay. It's
like if it was something that like if you had to like, because for me now, like I just turned 30 in February.
Happy belated.
My old man brain now does not have time for new characters. Because when I see a new character release, when I see that My trailer, whenever that comes out, I'm like, great, another character to learn.
Yeah.
And I guess what's good in that regard is knowing that, like, if Mai was behind that DLC paywall, then there might be a problem. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
like, but again, like, it's good to see that, like, the DLC in this regard isn't something that, like, you have to 100% get. Which I think is good, like you were saying, which is good for in the long run because that's the idea of, like, supporting content and bringing it through. So what do you got going on outside of all this? So, like, what's your day thing?
So personally, I really don't have much time to play the game. The last time I played this game was probably the last time I was here. So, like, I work. You know, I go to school full time. I have 6 classes right now. I work on the weekends. 12-hour shifts. Come home, sleep, and rinse and repeat, and make it here and support the game I love to play.
So what are you going for school for right now?
I work for criminal justice.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yep.
So what? So what year are you in for school right now?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior now? Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
I go Rutgers, New Brunswick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
New Jersey?
Yep.
I'm Jersey too.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, I live in East Windsor.
Oh,
like right down, right down 130.
Right all right, we're getting some games then.
Yeah, there we go. So, since you're from Jersey, I can ask you this question as a New Jerseyan. When it comes to fighting games, and the long arching of fighting games, it seems to always feel like New Jersey is the hub for something, or just a giant black hole.
Yeah.
That nobody
in between.
That nobody goes to, because I guess somebody here said, and I respect Phil, because like.
I know
back,
Phil.
Like,
the
break. I did my time at the break.
I'm at the break every Tuesday.
Yeah, I spent my time getting my ass beat by the FYC Trinity, which was Ryder, Marlon Pai, and KDZ for years. And something that someone said here, I overheard it in a tournament match, that like the only person that's like repping Jersey right now is keeping it on like the platform is KDZ.
Yeah.
And my mind was like, that's a little fucked up considering that there's already like as Lord Knight is like sitting across from that. So as much as I do that just traveling across state in Jersey is a struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for your end, like what keeps you going to be an advocate of a game when we have the Verrazano and Gothel's Bridge staring at us?
I got to learn the matchup.
once we hit exit 13.
You got to start swimming.
Yeah, exactly. And that is so how did you manage to continue being an advocate while being in school for criminal justice, which I know is a major that's very like it starts off pretty like, oh, this is pretty good, and then it gets kicks it. Yeah.
So I feel like the community is awesome. My local community, I got a lot of guys that play Soul Calibur, but we're getting them into DOA and vice versa. So everyone, 3D support all around. You meet people, interact with people. Community is awesome on both ends. Yeah. Make friends, carpool, anything to cut down that bottom dollar at the end of the day to help support, interact with more people, enjoy the game you love, all that good stuff. So I feel like that interaction and community support is something that goes very far, especially in the fighting game community. Everyone is super accepting, willing to have a conversation. Just got to ask.
Damn, that's what's up, man. So with that being said, this is good, man. Yep. This was good.
Yeah, no.
So like I said, full disclosure, I'm digging this game right now. I'm riding the wave. I don't know about Hanaka right now. It's a little bit of a
We just got to get there with the stances. We got to get there.
Yeah, and it's not, and the funny thing is too, it's not only that too,
She's a
but
T-Rex,
it's
I know.
also she's just T-Rex arms,
Yep.
and on top of that too, although she has things that are very good, like the close range metagame, it seems like right now like a problem that I'm having is that when there's a certain space that characters like to navigate into. Something that's like people on my stream say is like I have to climb the Hitomi mountain because like the space that I like to stand in is the same space that Hitomi is effective in.
Right.
But yeah, that's just a thing for another day. But I'm enjoying the experience now. Glad you were able to do this with me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I had a great time.
Chill hang. I guess we can plug social. So where can people find you, watch you?
So my Twitter is at Jager_FGC. I also run another Twitter, me and another prominent player, Slybass, out of Jersey. Known him for 6, 7, 8 years. So that's at Struggle Logic. We also stream when we can, providing videos, content, helping people learn the game. So another resource, if anyone's curious, look up Struggle Logic, hit us up on the competitive Facebook group. We can forward all this information. We have all the frame data, all the guides for every character, mechanics, guys, help you learn the game. We are there. We got you. So
that's what's up, man.
Yep.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, man. And I guess what? See you next week?
Oh, yeah, I'll be here.
See you this week.
I'll be here.
Driving?
Oh, I'll be here. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yep. It was nice meeting you, Joe.
Yeah, nice meeting you.